The story of Hercules does not begin with strength, nor with glory, nor even with the clash of gods. It begins with a single breath, a newborn cry rising beneath the silver sky of ancient Greece. The mountains around Thebes echoed softly, as though the world itself were whispering, "A hero has arrived." But destiny, as always, did not wait quietly. On the night Hercules was born, the heavens trembled. Clouds swirled like furious spirits above Mount Olympus, as if warning the mortals below that a life of impossible trials had just begun. Zeus stood on the balcony of Olympus, staring down at the mortal world with a rare mixture of pride and fear. Pride because this child, part god and part man, would become the symbol of power for centuries. Fear because every action a god takes ripples through the world like thunder. And Hera, Zeus's wife, had already sensed something she did not like. Down on earth, in a warm chamber lit by a flickering oil lamp, Amphitryon and Alcmene held their newborn son. The boy's eyes shone like molten gold, reflecting a future no mortal could predict. His tiny fingers already had the quiet strength of a warrior. When Alcmene touched his cheek, a spark of warmth pulsed beneath her skin, subtle but unmistakable, a divine spark. Outside, the winds began to howl. Alcmene whispered, "What shall we name him?" And before Amphitryon could speak, a distant rumble of thunder shook the house, not violent, almost approving. She smiled. "Hercules," she whispered, "the glory of Hera." But fate has a twisted sense of humor, for Hera would never grant this child glory. She wanted only revenge. Above the clouds, Hera's eyes narrowed like two cold stars. "Zeus, you break your vows again, and now you dare create a half-god child? A child who may surpass even the Olympians." Her voice spread across the sky like a threat carried on the wind. "I will not allow this boy to rise." Back on Earth, the newborn Hercules slept peacefully, unaware that the queen of the gods was already plotting his destruction. A quiet moment passed, the last peaceful moment he would know for a long time. That night, two serpents slithered silently into the baby's chamber. Their scales glowed with a faint supernatural shimmer, Hera's curse made flesh. They wrapped themselves around the cradle legs, hissing with hunger and venom. Any mortal child would have screamed. Any mortal child would have died. But Hercules was not a mortal child. Alcmene awoke with a start. She felt a chill run through her bones and rushed to the cradle, only to freeze in disbelief. There, illuminated by the moonlight, the infant Hercules was laughing, not crying, laughing, and in each of his hands a serpent dangled lifeless, crushed effortlessly by his tiny fists. Amphitryon gasped, "By the gods!" But Alcmene understood. This child had been born into danger, and he had survived his first trial before he could even walk. Word spread quickly, first through Thebes, then across all Greece. Stories grew faster than vines. The baby blessed by Zeus, the child who defeated monsters in the night, the infant of impossible strength. And with every rumor spoken at taverns, markets, and temples, the shadow of Hera's anger grew darker. Years passed. The child became a boy, and the boy became a young man. Hercules carried the strength of 10 grown warriors, but more importantly, he carried the heart of a protector. He did not boast, he did not threaten, he simply helped people, lifting fallen wagons, carrying heavy stones, rescuing animals stuck in ravines. Whenever someone asked him how he became so strong, he simply laughed and said, "I don't know, I just feel like I should use it for something good." But good is never simple, especially when gods interfere. One morning Hercules was training at the fields outside Thebes. His wooden spear struck a target so hard that it snapped completely in half. His friend Iphicles stared at him, half impressed, half terrified. "Hercules, do you ever worry you might break the whole world one day?" Hercules grinned. "Only if the whole world stands too close." But deep inside, Hercules felt the restlessness of a destiny he could not yet name. A strange force tugged at his heart, telling him he was meant for something greater, something dangerous. He could feel storms gathering in his soul. That evening, Amphitryon sat with Hercules by a fire. The flames reflected in Hercules' amber gold eyes, and Amphitryon saw the truth he had feared for years. "Hercules," he said softly, "there is something I must tell you, something that might change how you see yourself." The young man looked up, curious. "You are not entirely mortal. Your strength, your spirit, they come from Zeus." Hercules froze. The breeze around them stilled. "My father is a god?" "Yes," Amphitryon whispered, "but you are still my son, and your mother's son. You belong with us, but the gods, they will always be part of your story as well." Hercules stared into the fire. His heart pounded with confusion, anger, wonder, and fear all at once. He lived his whole life trying to be normal, trying to fit into a world of mortals, but now he understood why he could not. He was born between two worlds. He whispered, "If that is true, then Hera will never stop coming for me." And he was right. Before dawn, before the birds began to sing, the sky cracked open with a roar of thunder. Hercules awoke with a sickening feeling twisting in his stomach. Something was wrong. Something very, very wrong. He rushed into the courtyard, where a glowing figure descended from the sky, radiant, powerful, and unmistakably divine. It was Athena. Her golden armor shimmered like sunlight on water, and her eyes held the calm wisdom of ages. "Hercules," she said, her voice echoing with divine resonance, "your time of innocence is over." "What do you mean?" he asked, breath trembling. "Hera has poisoned your fate. She intends to destroy you, not with serpents, not with monsters, but with madness." "What madness?" Athena looked at him with sorrow. "She will try to turn your greatest strengths into your greatest curse." The earth trembled beneath their feet. A wave of dark energy spread across the horizon like the shadow of a giant beast. Hera had arrived. A storm cloud descended, twisting into the form of a towering woman with eyes of fury and lips curved into a cruel smile. "So, the half-breed child still lives," hissed Hera. Hercules felt a fire ignite in his veins. His hands clenched, but he did not bow, he did not fall. "Why do you hate me?" he demanded. Hera's laughter crackled like lightning. "Because your very existence is an insult." She lifted her hand. A blast of divine energy shot toward Hercules, striking him with the force of a hammer shattering stone. Pain exploded through his body. His mind spun. His vision blurred. He fell to his knees, gripping the dirt as he felt the world slipping away. "No!" shouted Athena, raising her shield to deflect the next attack. "Hera, stop! This will tear the mortal world apart!" But Hera did not stop. Her second strike ripped through the air, aimed not at Hercules, but at the very fabric of his mind. A spell, a curse, a twisting, maddening spell designed to shatter his sanity. Hercules screamed. His heart pounded violently, memories blurred, reality twisted. He could feel something breaking inside him, something fragile, something human. He staggered to his feet, eyes wild, breath ragged.
Athena tried to reach him. "Hercules, stay with me. Do not let her break your spirit." But Hera's voice slithered into his mind like venom. "You are a danger to everyone you love. You are a weapon, a monster, and soon the world will see it." Lightning struck the ground. Fire exploded around them. The wind howled with supernatural fury. Hercules stumbled back, gripping his head. I can't control it." Athena tried to pull him away, but the spell had already taken root. And then the world went silent. The next moment would haunt Hercules for the rest of his life. When the madness faded, when the fog in his mind cleared, Hercules collapsed to the ground, shaking. Tears streamed down his face. His hands trembled. He looked